Eid Adha. Story of faith and sacrifice. The sun had barely risen over the quiet village of Nurabad, nestled among rolling hills and fields kissed by the early summer breeze. The call to Fajr echoed across the valley, and as it stirred the villagers from sleep, one boy was already wide awake. 10-year-old Ayan knelt beside a sturdy wooden pen in the back of his family's modest farmhouse. Inside stood a magnificent white ram, strong and proud, with curved horns and soulful eyes that seemed to understand the boy's every word. "You're perfect," Ayan whispered as he gently fed the animal some dates. "I'll take care of you, I promise." He named him Burke, after a prophet's attribute meaning brilliant or shining. The name fit him well. The ram had been chosen months earlier by Ayan's father, Yusuf, a devout farmer known in the village for his compassion and honesty. Ayan, his father had said, "This year's Qurbani will be special. You'll care for Burke until Eid, and when the time comes, we will make the sacrifice together." Ayan had been thrilled at first. He fed Burke, brushed his coat daily, and even read Quran beside him. The ram followed his voice and seemed to rest peacefully when Ayan sang softly in the evenings. But as the days of Dhul Hijjah approached, Ayan's heart grew heavy. One evening, under the warm light of an oil lamp, Ayan sat beside his Dada Jan, his wise grandfather, who had once been a teacher in the local madrasa. "Dada," Ayan asked hesitantly, "why did Allah ask Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his son?" Dada Jan smiled gently and stroked his silver beard. "Because Allah was testing Ibrahim's love. Was it stronger for his son, or for his creator?" Ayan looked down. "It must have been so hard." "It was," Dada Jan said. "But when Ibrahim proved his devotion, Allah replaced Ismail with a ram. It's not the meat or the blood that reaches Allah. It's our sincerity." Ayan looked toward Bark's pen in the distance, a lump forming in his throat. "What if you love the ram like a brother?" Dada Jan put an arm around him. "Then your sacrifice is even more meaningful." Nurabad buzzed with anticipation as the moon of Eid drew closer. Children ran between pens, comparing animals. Some goats wore garlands of flowers. Cows were painted with bright, festive patterns. Ayan noticed something different this year. He was no longer just watching the preparations. He was part of it. His father showed him how to sharpen the blade properly. "A clean cut, with Bismillah on your tongue," Yusuf instructed. "And kindness in your heart." The night before Eid, Ayan stood silently in the pen, gently stroking Burke's coat. He recited Surah Al-Kawthar softly, and the ram blinked slowly as if comforted. A tear slipped down Ayan's cheek. "I love you, Burke," he whispered. Eid morning arrived with cool winds and birdsong. Ayan wore his white shalwar kameez, freshly ironed by his mother. After Eid Salah and a beautiful khutbah reminding the village of Ibrahim's legacy, the villagers returned to their homes for Qurbani. Yusuf held the blade while Ayan held Burke's head, whispering du'as. His hands trembled, but he remembered his grandfather's words, "More love, more reward." With calmness and reverence, they performed the sacrifice. Ayan didn't cry. Not then. But when it was over, he stepped away silently and sat under a neem tree for a long time. 3 equal portions of the meat were prepared, one for the family, one for relatives and neighbors, and one for the poor. Ayan helped pack the meat with his mother and delivered bundles across the village. He visited a widow who lived alone with her 3 children. "This is from Burke," he said simply, placing a wrapped portion into her hands. She smiled with moist eyes. "Allah bless you, my son." Ayan nodded, swallowing his emotion. That night, the family gathered around a simple Eid dinner. The aroma of grilled meat filled the air, but Ayan tasted something more: responsibility, honor, and a bittersweet pride. A few weeks later, as the days returned to normal, Ayan found a folded piece of paper under his pillow. It was from his grandfather. "Dear Ayan, you gave something you loved for the sake of Allah. That is real courage. That is Islam. Your sacrifice reached beyond our home. It fed the hungry, softened hearts, and echoed a lesson older than any of us. I am proud of you. May your heart always belong to Allah. Love, Dada Jan. Ayan closed his eyes, held the note to his chest, and felt the warmth of Burke's memory, not of loss, but of light. Years passed. Ayan grew into a young man, still marked by that single Eid when he learned what true sacrifice meant. Every year, he remembered Burke, not with tears, but with gratitude. Because Eid Adha wasn't about saying goodbye. It was about choosing Allah first. Always. And that, he would teach his children, was the greatest gift of all.